When did you become the very thing you swore to destroy? The day I told my daughter she can't have ice cream for breakfast. Similarly, the first time I answered the 5 millionth question why with because I said so. It just came out uncontrollably, I didn't know how to stop it. Edit, for the curious and/or judgmental, kiddo was 5 and was stalling on purpose, we wouldn't leave on time for school. They were asking why they had to put on shoes, followed by the but why game, sassy addition, without wanting the actual answers or reasons. We all know the game. Fastest I got my nephew to ever shut up was with a why what? Essentially requiring him to formulate a coherent question based on the answer I'd just given him. Seemed to break the little ducker. I reply with, why do you think? It encourages conversation and creativity when the child is truly curious, and it shuts down the child who is just whining for fun. I tend to try to engage the kid, and asking the kid to rephrase the why? Question to include parts of the answer quickly filters out genuine curiosity from just asking for attention. I tried to quit smoking using Chantix in 20,082,009. It didn't work because the nightmares were so graphic and scary. I had 2 before I stopped taking it. I don't remember the first one, but the second one, I killed a guy by removing his limbs very slowly. It really grossed me out. Didn't realize I was capable of that sort of barbarity even in some unlocked portion of my mind. Now I do autopsies for a living. It's weird that elements of my absolute worst nightmare is part of my day-to-day. Had a cop ask me to remove a guy's hands a couple weeks ago, and it's literally not even crossed my mind a second time until just now. A few years ago I would say yo ironically to make fun of people who said yo. Now I start almost every conversation with yo dude. How long will it take people to learn this unbreakable law of the universe? Irony will always develop into sincerity, given enough time. Given enough time, irony usually develops into rusty. I appreciate her existence. When I realized I have a lot of the same toxic abusive patterns as my father. Yep, same here. When I first met my now husband, I had this realization moment when we were discussing something and I made him cry. I immediately had this understanding that I had just done what my own father had always done to my mother growing up. It was an epiphany moment where I was like, the whole time growing up I swore I would never be like that, and here I am doing the same thing he did. It took a lot of work and help from my husband, but it took a while to essentially deprogram myself. We have a happy and healthy relationship now, and I am thankful every day that he stayed and helped me become a better person. That's amazing, congratulations on that and all the hard work you went through. Your husband sounds like a great guy as well. Unfortunately, it took my relationship of 3 years ending for me to finally open my eyes. I absolutely traumatized my ex and I am so ashamed for it. I'm starting my deprogramming process at all, but I'm so scared of failing and hurting someone else that I love. I'm sorry you lost that relationship. When you have the realization, that's the first step, so good on you for that. After that, it just takes a lot of effort in recognizing when you see the behavior and immediately stopping it. I had a long talk with my husband, before he was my husband, about when he sees the behavior and him not stopping to call me out on it. This was the biggest help, especially when it's a situation where I was very emotional or heated, because my judgment would become clouded. He really helped me a lot, and I think it's because he also had parents similar to mine. He easily recognized when I was doing those things. But in the end, it's up to you to change those behaviors, and you can definitely do it. It just takes time and effort. Good luck, my friend, and while for me I wasn't able to get counseling, if it's available to you, I would highly recommend it. My entire life while growing up, all I wanted to do was be a police officer. Received my bachelor's in political science and minored in legal studies and criminal justice. Received my master's in criminal justice. Scored top 5 in physical and written exams at every agency I applied. No criminal history and no previous drug use. I was denied by every single agency. Entered law school, applied for an internship at the DOS office while in law school, was denied. Passed the bar, and applied at the district attorney's office as a criminal prosecutor. Denied even though I had criminal law experience and my courses emphasized criminal law. Now I am a criminal defense attorney. Edit, this blew up overnight, thank you all for the upvotes. I'm not sure what the questions or conversations entail, but I'll try and get through all. If you can't join 'em, beat 'em. I actually have a friend that had a similar-ish thing happen, but they didn't end up becoming a basically made themselves overqualified to be a cop. Kind of explains a lot of things in America. I mean, there was a circuit court case that upheld a police department's right to not hire someone who was deemed too smart. Jordan, a 49-year-old college graduate, took the exam in 1996 and scored 33 points, the equivalent of an IQ of 125. But New London police interviewed only candidates who scored 20 to 27, on the theory that those who scored too high could get bored with police work and leave soon after undergoing costly training. abnews.go.com. I make video games and 95% of my career have been on consoles. Had to help out a team at work a few years back with a mobile game and they made me add in the bit where the pop-up comes up asking you to rate the game. I died a lot inside then. Much better than those dickheads adding ads with no close signs. I hope they get an ad too. Or when they know when you're going to be touching TH screen in a specific area and they throw an ad right in there. Just in that perfect time where your brain has made the decision to move your finger and before your finger has hit the screen. That is a very specific hate that I can get behind. I used to hate grumpy old guys. Now. Edit, whoa. You guys flooded the old inbox on this one. Thank you for the awards. Now I gotta read all these damn messages. I don't even have kids and I've found my mother coming out of my mouth to my nieces and nephews. It's appalling. I feel like Nick from New Girl. I'm looking forward to getting old, I'm just growing into my personality. Oh, when I was looking for a new place I seriously considered looking in senior living even though I'm in my 40s. I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs, I'm an introvert who bakes, cross-stitches, watches TV with her cat. So basically I'm 80. My mother had been, and still is, violently abusive. I am now extremely quick to anger and get really loud and aggressive about it. I'm in therapy still trying to break the cycle. Edit, I'm overwhelmed. You are all giving me more kindness than I've ever really known. Thank you so much, everyone. That's great to hear, I hope you do, you got this. When I got put in charge of people at work I said I was going to be a cool boss. And then I realized that there's a lot more to it and OMFG these idiots are ducking up and I have to answer for it. This hits home, working from the bottom you make good friends and you all swear you won't be that dickhead who is the boss. Then you get promoted and become that dickhead. The way I see it is to take the knowledge you got from your boss and don't do the dumb stuff you hated but all in all you just gotta be the boss, not a Michael Scott. I'll paste this here. Replied to another comment but figured you might want to rethink seeing yourself as the dickhead. Being a cool boss isn't reasonable, you do have to be the one to hold people's feet to the fire. But you can be the fair, honest boss who actually gives a duck about the people who work for you. I had 120 people working underneath me, and typically people saw me as a hard guy to work for and that I always had high expectations. But they also knew that I did not micromanage them, and that I knew each and every one of them personally and was able to better develop them as a result. As each of them move up over time in various other positions and places, I get emails, phone calls and messages thanking me for helping them see what right looks like. I myself merely modeled my behavior after those who were my supervisors, and I believe I was able to influence them to be actually effective leaders as a result. That's ultimately the legacy I live for, anyways. Whatever the work is, doesn't matter, because no matter how much money you make, life is ultimately about the legacy you are able to leave improving the lives of others, not about hitting the number one spot on some report card. If you take care of the people underneath you, you'll hit that number one spot as a side effect. Be that kind of boss. I used to make jokes about edgy people but now I'm always sad and anxious and I try to make light of it through depression jokes. Now my friends make edgy jokes about me. Comedy answer, Reddit account serious answer, my company's director forced me to accept a promotion to management. I can seriously relate to the comedy answer. And I can relate to the serious one. I don't want a job where I have to deal with assholes like me. I always said I'd never be a pet person. But we're fostering a cat while its owner is in hospital and now it's 1 a.m. and I'm on the sofa with Buddy cuddling up to me and yeah. It's kinda cool. When you have something cuddling against you it just releases something in your brain that's just like I really like this. Oxytocin.